Yeah, very pleasant Thursday evening, everybody. Welcome to Coyote Creek Ranch here in the beautiful Colorado Rockies. That I believe is our friend JPC next to us. And yeah, it's episode 12 of the Nowhere Fast series. Of course, we're in the Coronado Cessna 152, and we are getting ready to fly up to Laramie. I'm going to get the door open and get going and start the intro. Let's get rolling. Do. We are ready to go. I've got the fuel in. I've completed my walk around. I've got all the tie downs and chocks removed. That's maybe been a problem um, recently. maybe. And there's one thing I'm going to do though is I am kind of not. These window reflections are a little bit maybe over the top. So we're going to take those off just for now. We're getting a little bit of that late day sun, so we're going to take those off. All right, just a super fast little briefing here. We do have some weather to consider near the Denver area, and then up, excuse me, on our way to Colorado. Laramie. We are planning on a stop at Elk. I think it's Elk Park Ranch right here, 34 Charlie Delta. But to get there, we're going to have, man, I've got the hiccups all of a sudden. We're going to have to navigate north and try to stay out of some airspaces here. So it's essentially pretty much a northbound trek. We are going to attempt to pick up this Cheeseman Lake as kind of our first little waypoint to the north. That looks like, according to SkyVector, 31 nautical miles north from Cheeseman Lake. Again, we're just going to essentially continue north 349. There's a Marshdale private airstrip. That is 23 miles. When we get to there, we are going to divert just a little bit to the west just to stay clear. This is the Denver Class Bravo airspace. We definitely want to stay away from that. We will tune in Denver 117.9er just to make sure that we stay well clear. This is a 30 nautical mile ring, so we want to make sure that we don't get any closer to that than 30 nautical miles, although we technically don't have a DME in this plane, so we're just going to kind of be winging it a little bit. But if we pick up Marshdale, like I say, about a 326 over to Athanasia. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Another little private strip, and then another 24 nautical mile leg up here to Elk Park. And there's a little bit of a reservoir here, and also a nice tall 11,500 foot peak that will hopefully clue us in to where we're going. This is a little valley too right here that we will sneak through here, the Athanasia Valley. Yeah, this is going to be a tough nav. You're right. So one thing I am going to do for this particular leg is I'm breaking out an old friend, our E6B computer, and this is a drift calculator because we are going to be essentially flying a course for this first half, and we're going to have to factor in drift a little bit. So we're going to use some information that we get here on the ground, as well as some weather information that we would be able to realistically pick up ahead of time from a weather service, and we're going to try to see if we can stay on track here as best we can, because there's again, other than seeing, we're going to be skirting sort of the front range here of the Rockies, and there are, a few roads. As you can see, it's quite the spider web of roads. So, it's tough to pick out a single road here. But the biggest thing again is just to not try to get over here too close to Denver. Um, hopefully this little Athanasial Pass valley will be pretty easy to pick out here. It's between a 11,000 and a 10.5 peak, and we can shoot that sucker. But you know this one here is, I think, going to be kind of difficult to find. I'll be honest with you. I again, like with most of these, well, all the recent flights that I've done for the Nowhere Fast, I haven't flown a practice run. I've just flown some patterns there just to make sure that the scenery looks good. And so we'll see how easy it is to find that. All right, from Elk Park, though, it'll be a little bit easier. We're going to fly up here to Estes Park. There is a reservoir here, and then we're going to pick up the Thompson River, and we're going to follow this Thompson River toward basically this is the Fort Collins area, and we're going to pick up the Northern Colorado Regional Airfield, and then the Horsetooth Reservoir. And from the Horsetooth Reservoir, we're going to jump on this. It's kind of hard to see with the weather. This is Wyoming, or U.S. Highway 287, and Highway 287 takes us right up to Laramie, and that's where we're going to terminate our flight today at Laramie Regional. So that's the plan of attack. Again, fairly high altitude wise. I filed 9,500. We're just going to kind of base it on essentially the terrain around us and go from there. So in the Discord, in the back channel, we do have our friends. I think JPC is there, as well as Downwind Sim. So I'm going to hop back over there and we'll get the plane started and hear what those guys have to say. Guys, any questions on that briefing? We good to go? Sorry, I had my mic push to talk. Any questions on that briefing, JPC? Are we good?
No, no questions. I wasn't watching your stream, but I kind of have an idea of what's going on from the Sky Vector. Just give me a comm check on.
All right, I'm just powering up here, and I will do that real quick.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, nav light can come on, beacon can come on, and comm 1, we're going to be 2280. We're all Unicom tonight. Coyote Creek, radio check. I show I'm transmitting. Check, radio check.
Loud and clear, how me?
5x5, thank you.
Sweet, you lead the way, it's your show.
All right, sounds good. I'll be ready here in just a sec. First thing I need to do is make sure that the compass is aligned. It is. We are going to pick up our weather information, and it looks like 105 at 1 also. Pretty calm. 2998 is the pressure, and then 320 at 11. That's what we're going to plug in for our wind for the drift. So let's put in 29 or 9 or 8 first, and then 320 at 11. All right. So the course I would like to fly is 356. My airspeed is going to be probably around 90. And then we said 300. Oops. And 11. All right, so that tells us that we need to be flying a heading of 350 to offset a little bit of wind that we have coming off of our left-hand side. All right, and then our first waypoint is that reservoir there. What was it called again? The Cheeseman Lake Reservoir, 31 nautical miles. I think we're going to depart downhill. Coyote Creek traffic, Skylane 11816. We're going to be back taxiing to the south for a downhill departure. And those parking brakes don't come off with the toe brakes. We're stuck in the muck here. We'll get going in just a sec. Oh, goodness. Notch of flaps. Now we'll get up here and lean things out just a little bit, as we are already 8,000 feet of altitude. The last two legs have seen us in the mountains of Colorado, and we've been up over 8,000 foot the entire time, so it's been quite the challenge. So we will depart, actually pretty much runway heading, and just make our way to the north. Again, we want a heading of about 350. Yeah, let's not get too far here. All right, this bush looks like it's about the turnaround spot to me. All right, let's get quick mag check in.
Oh, I just realized I didn't do the OSM. Well, alright.
Well, we'll see what it looks like, huh?
Shoot.
Yeah, I'm easy to catch up with, though. If you're in the 170, you got time. Well, except you got to recook. You got to recook the tile. Yeah, that's fine.
No, we're committed. Damn it! I knew I forgot something today. Crap. I was like, oh no, wait a second. There's probably an OSM. I just threw in the elk scenery and never. Oh.
Oh well. All right. In the meantime, I am going to put Denver. We have Denver
Committed.
17 Niner. And again, we're just trying to kind of make sure we stay away from Denver. We'll adjust our NDB here in just a second. Coyote Creek traffic, Skylane 816, Skyhawk 816, departing northbound VFR, Coyote Creek. All right, flaps set. Let's put the lights on. We will put the pitot heat on as well. Like I say, we have a little bit of icing conditions here. Cabin heat, come on.
Do you think the OSM is not having the OSM is gonna make it harder to find?
I don't know about that. It might make it a little bumpy, but you should be able to see it just fine. Down we go.
Tight. Can't believe I forgot to do that.
And right there at the end. And this is a tricky departure, to say the least. It's a high altitude deal, and so you don't want to be too aggressive on the climb out.
Traffic. Cessna 124
We are going to go 350.
For a northbound departure. Coyote Creek.
And I got the timer going here as well. Alright, we are airborne. Coyote Creek traffic, Skyhawk 816. We are clear of the area, departing northbound VFR, Coyote Creek. Alright, bring the flaps up. Did I just get a little stall horn there? What the heck?
Where are you going at, 95?
I'm hoping to get 95. All right, up and out. Again, just a little bit of a crab into the wind. And we will see you later, Coyote Creek. It's been fun. This was a hard one to find. I'll tell you kind of about that as I get a little bit clear of the terrain here. Kenny Monster checking in. Hello, my friend. Good to see you. Upward and onward. 9,500 is what we're trying to achieve here. I like 500 feet per minute. That's pretty good. I like 60 knots. That's not bad. And I cannot lean this and get really any more performance at this point. We're just kind of running right as wide open as we can here. 2 browsers open. Hopefully one is the other one is Jet Pilot Cinnamon, who's doing the same thing as me. He should be right behind me, by the way. So when I flew this last time, if you were watching, you understand that I actually had to cut the episode short. I had a work commitment that meant I couldn't quite make it all the way in. Coyote Creek was obviously the last stop of the day, and so I wasn't able to make it. So I actually paused my sim right where I was at, and I came back several hours later after my work commitment was all done, and I tried to find this little airstrip, and I wandered around. It was no more than about 20 miles from the one that we departed from before, but I wandered around for a good probably 45 minutes to maybe an hour. Could not find it. Got low on fuel and had to divert. And so I actually, that night, I spent the night at I think it's Vandenberg Air Force Base or an airstrip right close to that. And I thought, all right, realistic. You can't find it. You go to a bigger place and you grab a motel room and you try it again the next day. Well, that's what I did. I got up the next morning and tried to find it, and it was another 45 minutes. And again, it was only about 20 miles from where I diverted to. That thing was hidden away. And so I asked Downwind Sim the next day, I said, you want to come try to find this with me? And so we spawned in at an airfield south of it. And by this time, I had cruised around that little area for, like I say, about 2 hours, and kind of felt like I was getting to know the lay of the land a little bit. Well, it took the two of us another 45 minutes to an hour to find it on that third try. So I'm hoping that this is not a repeat when we get into Elk Park there. Hey, Jack Winston, how are you, man? Happy Thursday, my friend. Things are going good. I snuck in a fishing trip today. Got a bunch of stuff done on the honeydew list. And now it's time to fly. Got to see my grandson for a minute. That was awesome. And I'm in the 152. And I think 9,500 is going to be not enough as I look at the terrain coming up here. Hopefully we'll run into Cheeseman Lake before we get to that ridge line there. If not, we're going to have to divert a little bit. Alright, so here's what we're doing. We are going to set, we've tuned in, this is Denver, and we're going to set a radial, and I'm going to estimate it at about 230. That should give us the Marshdale private airstrip, which is what we're looking to hit. And we're going to divert a little bit more to the west at that point. just to make sure we stay out of the Denver class Bravo. If this thing had a DME on it, I could just watch that. I wouldn't have to necessarily tune in anything. I could just make sure I stayed 30 miles or more away, but I don't, unfortunately. So we're using that little Marshdale private airstrip as our reference point. I'm also using, Jack, just in case you got in here a little bit late, I'm using the E6B calculator to help me with drift. I used it way back, gosh, last summer when I was doing the DC-3 flight over to Normandy for the 75th anniversary. I used that to help me with some of my oceanic legs, and it's just exactly what it says. It just helps you kind of calculate your drift and stay on the heading that you are trying to fly. We're trying to fly a, what was it, a 356 heading, and based off the wind information that we have from the airfield that we just departed, we need about a 350th, so just a slight crab west into the wind. But anyway, so making use of a little different tool than we normally do. Comrade Sasha, thank you so much for hitting that follow button. Welcome to Prop Culture. Happy to have you along. Okay. Yeah, beautiful area, no question about it. We're gonna make a quick stop at Elk Park Ranch, and then our final destination tonight is actually Laramie Regional Airport. And I'll kind of tell everybody why I picked that airport. Usually we don't go into the bigger airports. We try to stay on the off the beaten path, as it were, off the towered controlled airstrips. But I've got a little something up my sleeve for a future episode of Nowhere Fast. But I've flown into Grand Junction a few times, and it is just a phenomenal, beautiful area. Nice little airport too. All right, guys, we are going to have to either climb or zig and zag around. If we climb, my worry is that our drift calculation data will be a little bit off. But I think I see a little bit of a notch in the mountains there. I think we might be able to get that little notch if we wanted to stay straight. And as we found out last time, we can get 13,000 in this thing. Well, I'm not seeing, this is the weird thing, I'm really not seeing this terrain here, so I don't know what, if I'm going further west than I thought I was or what here, but we'll get up here a little closer and we'll make a business decision. We don't have to really worry, even though we do have the Denver class Bravo off to our right here a little bit, but we don't have to worry too much about the ATC because there is none. It would just simply be a matter of us talking to anybody in the area. All right, we're coming up on a small little waterway here. I'm at about 10 minutes. That seems like it's a little bit quick. It was this first leg was a 31 nautical mile leg. So I'm not thinking that this is Cheeseman Reservoir. So the only other spot that it could potentially be is there's a little dammed reservoir that's just north of Coyote Creek. And if that's the case, we're getting shoved way farther east. Than I thought we were. I think this might be that reservoir. Okay. So we may have to make some adjustments here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm seeing a road, okay. I'm thinking we maybe are getting a little more wind than our weather report told us. Yeah, 31. Kenny Monster, for those of you that don't know, he flies that Corsair. And he's kind of like us. That's a bit of a long haul. Well, maybe it's kind of a long, stringy lake here. Maybe we're okay. Maybe that's where we need to be. 12 minutes and 31. I don't think so, because that would mean that we're doing more than 120 knots, which there's no way we are. And we're not getting really any ground speed help here at all. So okay, well, what I'm going to do here is there is a small lake. If this is Cheeseman Reservoir, there's a small mountain lake called Green Mountain. Well, actually, I don't know if the lake is called Green Mountain Lake. There's a small lake that's just to the northwest. So I'm going to just come over here a little bit and just take a quick look and see if I can see that. Otherwise, well, yep, there it is.
What lake is this?
It can't be Cheeseman. It's too soon. I'm worried that it may be that little tiny lake that's just north of the field, and we're already way too far to the east.
There's no way we could be too far to the east, because I've been doing more west of the heading than what we've got established on SkyVector. Let me take a look and see what that lake looks like.
Yeah, I had about a 350 course that I was thinking we needed, but I'm not thinking that's Cheeseman Lake, but I'm not 100% sure what lake it is. Alright, so kind of back on the 350 here. So we're going to have to... I've lost a little altitude.
I think it's Lake George. I'm thinking it's
I think
Lake
you're right.
George.
I think you're right.
So it means we are a little too far to the west, so we need to go slightly east of where we're at.
I'm going to attempt to go.
So I see where we need to.
Yeah, I'm going to try to go east around this little bluff in front of us here. Do you think?
Yeah, that's what I think, because I think it's Bison Peak. There's like the opening to the left of Bison Peak that goes to like that little lake over by the ranch up in there. You see like Terriall. Like I think that opening that you're kind of pointing at right now is going towards Terriall. And I think we need to come east around here a little bit. I think we just ended up a little bit further west than we thought.
I agree with that. I'm going to do that exact same thing. Alright, so let me get leveled off here and I'll show you what we're thinking. So we initially, at first I thought, well, it could be this Cheeseman Lake, but it's too soon. Then I thought, well, maybe it's this little lake here, but now we weren't that far, and we weren't that far east, and we were way farther north. And so then what JPC is seeing is this right here, and I think that's exactly right. I think we're Lake George, which would put us a little west of track. So for us to get back on track, I think we're going to just mosey around the east side of this mountain ridge, and then we're going to resume kind of that. I don't know if 350. I feel less confident about 350 at this point, but the nice thing about Cheeseman Lake is it's a fairly good-sized lake, and we should be able to find it without too much trouble. But I do have a feel for, I think, where we're at right now. And that Cheeseman Lake should be just right around the corner here. In fact, I think there's maybe even a little tributary stream. It could be down in that little draw that takes us right to the lake. The lake is at 6,842 feet, and we do have 9,000 foot plus terrain to our
So,
west.
Brad, I'm pretty sure I see the Cheeseman Lake like right off my nose here.
Yeah, I think we're back on the right track here. Heading around east was the right call, and I believe I had the lake in sight as well. Alright, so that drift calculator data, as can happen, and I found this out when I was in the DC3, it's only an
Just gonna have
estimate.
to start calling me the sectional master, that's all.
Congratulations on your new promotion. Once you get in the air, obviously in the mountains especially, winds can change quite a bit. But what we do know is that the prevailing winds in this neighborhood, and I only know it because I'm somewhat from this part of the world, the prevailing winds are generally from the west, and so we can expect that we're going to be pushed a little bit east all along our way here. But the other thing that we need to be mindful of now is we're getting into some icing and turbulence according to Sky Vector, and you can see the clouds building up a little bit. They're really not showing a tremendous amount of precipitation, and I don't know that we're going to see a lot of precip, but I'm seeing some weather updates saying it could be kind of choppy potentially. Well, actually, I'm not seeing any icing. I'm just seeing the turbulence. Yeah, there's a little bit more moisture once we get a little bit further north. Okay, so the plan here is going to be to exit Cheeseman Lake on a heading of 350. We do have a couple of roads we could follow if we wanted, but I'm just going to try to maintain a 350 heading and then use the VOR here to help us out. Kind of redlining. Pull the throttle back just a little bit here. All right, that for sure is Cheeseman Lake. Don't know if we'll be able to see Mike behind us or not, but there's Cheeseman Lake. That looks good. Lost a little altitude here. And that's about, there we go. My timer is showing about 20 minutes now, that's a little more realistic for a 31 nautical mile leg, especially if we've been right around 90 knots the whole time. That's more like it. This next leg is 23 nautical miles, so we would, we'd be expecting something around 15 minutes for that leg. I tell you what, I am not passing the check ride today because I cannot hold it at 9,500. I'm not keeping it within 50 feet either way.
Looks like I'm going to take the lead. Extra horses are definitely helping.
Yep, not a problem, man. Just make sure you get all the elk off the runway for me.
God, I hope it's level. I can't believe I forgot that OSM.
Wonder how the fishing is down here at Cheeseman Lake. Nixie! I'm doing great, my friend. Good evening yourself. Hope your Thursday is going awesome. This is Cheeseman Lake, just southwest of Denver, Colorado. We're trying to negotiate our way into a place called Elk Park Ranch. Our final destination tonight, if we are able to get there, is Laramie Regional in Wyoming at the end of the night. Okay, 350 is what we said we wanted to try to follow. Here's one of those roads that we could also parallel, although the roads that come out of Cheeseman Lake, they go all over the place. So we'll just try to go as close as we can to 350. Again, the drift calculator was telling us we needed to aim ourselves a little bit more west, just because the breeze, which I think is more than a breeze now, is kind of pushing us to the east a little bit. But what I'm also finding here is we're a little bit limited by terrain, unless we wanted to climb up and get up and over 10,000. But from what I'm seeing here, we should be able to, for the most part, stay at 9,500 and zigzag our way all the way up to Laramie. I did put it on real time, so there's a little bit of a sense of urgency here. I mean, if we get into and out of Elk Park, that's kind of the main thing. Laramie Regional is a lighted airfield, and if we had to, we could tune in. I think Laramie has a VOR, and we could fly that baby in if we needed to. I don't know that we'll need that. We'll probably tune it just to make sure, but I'd really like to follow Highway 287. It's a neat little stretch that runs between Fort Collins, Colorado and Laramie, Wyoming. Still kind of waiting to see JPC buzz by us here. Maybe he already has and I just don't know it. Sometimes X-Pilot doesn't do the best job in the world of showing that. Did look like we were crabbing slightly into the wind, so I want to make sure that we're doing at least 350, if not maybe even a little bit more, maybe like a 345. But for the most part, we're just going to try to pick our way through the terrain here. Oops, I forgot to reset my stopwatch, my timer. Alright, so we'll get that. That's going a little bit late. We were expecting about a 15-minute leg here. It's 23 nautical miles So I started a little bit late, so it's probably going to be more like about 12 minutes. But the other thing that we have to help us is we do have this airfield tuned off of the Denver VOR. Yeah, we're thinking about, what were we thinking? What did I say? Oh, hello. About like 2:30, I think is what I said. Yeah, about 2:30. So, why Laramie? I know none of you are thinking that question, but maybe a few of you are. Again, with this series, I've tended to keep to the smaller, obviously uncontrolled, but more to the point, the backcountry kind of turf airstrips. But we're going into Laramie because I've got an idea for another fly-in event, similar to what we did when we were up in the Canyonlands. It'll be not the same, I guess, same structure, but I want to see if we can get another large group to fly with us in an upcoming, I'm thinking a June Nowhere Fast episode. And so Laramie is going to be a nice rendezvous spot because it has a lot of spots to park, and it's sort of at the south end of what I'm thinking. But I'll give you some more details. I don't have everything totally lined out, but I've done quite a bit of scenery work in Wyoming. It's my home state, and I've tried to get to basically every turf and dirt airstrip that exists in my state. And I want to fly. There's some pretty cool spots on the eastern side of the state, and so my idea is to start in Laramie and make a little bit of a flight on the eastern side, hitting some of these backcountry airstrips. The backcountry strips in Wyoming are much different than what you see in some of the other states. But anyway, that's the idea. I will obviously give you more information when it gets a little closer to the time, but that's what we're doing. DU Baviator. How about Dub Aviator? Dub Aviator. Thank you for following. Welcome to Prop Culture. Happy to have you along. If you wanted to fire up the sim and join us at Elk Park, Colorado, 34 Charlie Delta, you could fly with us from Elk Park to Laramie Regional. And Aquafunkalistic Booty Wap is checking in. It's been a while, my friend. Good to see you. So terrain is kind of dictating that we fly about that 340-ish heading anyway, which I think is good because it does sort of offset a little bit the wind that's blowing from our left and pushing us in there. Lurked for a few. Yep. No. Yep. I understand. One of our friends, he's got a nice line. Feel free to lurk about the cabin. I don't mind that. I do have the voice room open if you want to stop by and say hi in the Discord voice room. Normally we have a little bit of a conversation going. Usually what we have going is Downwind Sim constantly heckling me, but he must have gotten busy with something because he was here earlier promising for another.
Heckle,
there we.
Heckle,
I knew.
heckle.
I knew you were there somewhere.
sorry, Mike. I'm listening to both of your streams, and Melvin was like, normally he's in here heckling, so I had to pop in.
That's fine with me. I'm not gonna complain.
Who's lost? Anybody?
No. Yeah.
We were semi-lost about 10 miles north of Coyote Creek, but Mike got us back on track quickly.
Well, of course. I wouldn't say we were even lost. We were just, I think, 2 miles a little bit further west than we wanted to be, and we were able to identify.
Yeah, we were still in Colorado. No, I think he's blown past me. I think I'm following at a distance at this point.
Yeah, I can see you there behind. You're too far.
The pedal to the metal, man.
Oh, Kenny. Yeah, dadgummit. I got a little bit of yard work done myself today, so I felt pretty good about that. We've got this large backyard project that we're working on this summer, and so I've been trying to get that prepped up here. Grizzly Accord. This is the Coronado Cessna 152, and it is the NH Adrian mod, and so it has. Oh, you know what I forgot to do, you guys? I am so sorry about this. How about some noise canceling headphones? Ha! I love the sound of this plane so much that I sometimes forget about that. But
noise canceling headphones are so much nicer.
They are. That way I don't feel like I'm having to holler. But yeah. So anyway, Grizzly, it's just the Coronado 152, which is not a great aircraft. It's pretty dated, pretty old, but this is an absolutely phenomenal mod. This is to the NH Adrian mod to the Coronado 152 is what the Prop Strike Studio mod is to the default 172. So I picked up. I haven't been squawking Charlie here. I picked this up. I picked the airplane up last time there was a sale, and because I think it's $25 or something normally, but I got it for 12 or something like that, and it's been worth every penny with the mod. The mod has, well, you can look at it. I won't be able to do it justice, but several liveries, several different panel configuration, the ability to put all kinds of whatever you want in here, all kinds of avionics if you'd like. You can put the Avatab in there if you want, or you can do like I do and you just take it all out.
I just crossed over the Marshdale little strip there, so I'm gonna kind of working my way northwest a wee bit now.
All right.
I think I have an idea of where I'm.
Yep, I think I am also close to that same area. Thank you. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention, but anyway, yeah, check it out. Highly recommended. And yeah, this looks to me like the Marshdale kind of community area here, so I may not see the airfield exactly, but I think we just actually went right past it. So so for us, we need to turn on about a 326 heading. And what was important to us about Marshdale was the fact that we need to turn here so that we stay out of the class Bravo. Yes, that is the truth. So Grizzly, there's something you need to know about me, and I don't know that I recognize your handle, so if you've been here before and I'm not recognizing you, forgive me. But the one thing that you need to know about me is I'm kind of like a cat lady when it comes to Cessna 150s. This is the, well, I have 2 of them right now, and I'm about to pick up a third just as soon as it goes on sale. So, well, I shouldn't say I have 2 150s. I have a 152 and I have a 150. And so anyway, oh, somebody's trying to check in with us. Must be a little Denver traffic, maybe a little too far away. So yeah, I come from a lens of somebody who likes low and slow. But how can you not love that? I mean, come on. Bush tires. You can even put a, or do I have it? Nope, I don't have it. You can put a muffler on there. One of the liveries has a mismatched door, like has a green paint and like a blue door on it. It's totally what you'd see. Yeah, there you go, Dub. I mean, it's got that kind of that personal connection for me as well. This is the plane that my grandfather owned, and he took me up flying in it. So, all right. So we're shooting. By the way, what I need to be looking for is the Athanasio Valley, and it's right in between. It's like a little 8,900 foot valley, and I think I see it right at our 12 o'clock here, in between a 10,900 foot peak on its left and a 10,500 foot peak on its right, and I think that might be it. And then at that point we turn north for our final little leg into Elk Park. And that last little leg, that last little 24 nautical mile leg is going to be probably the toughest here. Oh yeah, the same problem with Skyhawks. Yeah, there are Cessnas. I mean, come on, there's a lot to love. The first real study level GA plane that I ever bought was the A-to-A 182 Skylane over in P3D, and I just fell in love with it. It was phenomenal. It was so much fun and just so immersive, and if you didn't put it to bed right at night, it didn't work right the next time you flew it. And this one isn't quite like that, but it does have a full walk around checklist that it's got great documentation. I mean, that's the one thing that normally comes with I won't be able to move this probably. That comes with Carenado usually anyway. Not so much in this case, but it has a really, really good set of checklists and just a bunch of nice features. Oh heck, it just has some good stuff there. Some performance tables and.
Yeah, I think I'm bang on right now still.
Yeah, I think I'm seeing that little valley, and then it's just a matter of heading north, my friend.
Yep.
There is a skinny little reservoir there at Netherlands that can kind of be used as a little bit of a checkpoint as well. But otherwise, I think it's head north, and we'll see you at Elk Park.
Yeah, hopefully I don't bust up the airplane so downwind sim doesn't heat.
Dub, you're right.
The pressure is really on tonight.
Yeah, so that's Jet Pilots.
I know the guy that runs the paint shop, so I think you might be okay.
That's JPC. Jet Pilot Cinnamon in the background.
Downwind sim, you gotta be my eyes, by the way, on Branch stream tonight, because if he can pull off that magical minus 100 or less, or I'm sorry, minus less than 100 feet per minute landing at any point tonight on the 2 landing attempts that he has,
still on,
I'd be willing to continue to keep that 1,000 bit offer on the table.
So
the pressure has now been.
Yeah.
Squarely on brand
Yeah.
this evening.
Okay.
I'm up to it. Anyway, he
You have
he
nothing
Doing
to
my own
lose.
stream. Because I'm doing my own stream, you're gonna have to keep the eyes.
he's got himself a new custom livery paint job from the other voice you hear is Downwind Sim. And Downwind made
I'll be lucky if I get anything less than
JPC
200 feet per minute tonight because I'm in the tail dragger.
a nice little custom job. All right, so do I need to go through both parts of this? I think I might. I'm going to go through this second part here. Gosh, that looks like more than 900,000. And I was supposed to have. There's supposed to be like a little airstrip down here too that I really wasn't looking for. Anastasia Valley Private Airfield. But anyway, the other thing is that Mike is Jet Pilot Cinnamon is a real world pilot, and so he oftentimes gives me a fair amount of advice on different things that I should be doing to perform better. And one of the challenges he's kind of thrown down before me is a landing challenge. If I can put one together here, as you heard, that's pretty decent. He's going to toss some bits my way. So he likes to put the pressure on me. But he secretly knows my skill level or my lack of skill. Maybe it's more to the point. And so I don't think he's too worried. But yeah, you never know. There was the miracle on ice in the 1980 Olympics. There was Buster Douglas defeating Mike Tyson. Miracles happen. All right, so we're through here. We're going to turn north to 354. If we can get there, we might have to wait just a little bit. And again, it'll be probably for us more like 350 just because of the wind that's pushing us a little bit here. Jack Winston cracking up. Sparker, hello to you as well. Welcome. Glad to have you. Hope that your Thursday has been good, and welcome to your Thursday evening entertainment. The 150 in the high Colorado Rockies. All right, there we go. Last leg. So set the clock here, 24 nautical miles. So we would be again expecting about a 15-minute leg. If we've done this correctly, this should be the town of Robbinsville. And then there should be a little kind of an east-west running lake here, just past Robbinsville. Never did see that Athanasia Valley private airstrip. There are a lot of them up here, though. It's a very, from a scenery perspective, it's a very target-rich area. But I'm up at 10,000 feet. There's no need for me to be that high. I should have plenty of terrain clearance here if I'm in the spot that I think I am. If not, I will have to make an adjustment. But I am looking for that little lake there at Nederland. If I can see that, that should just be off to our left here in just a bit. I'll feel much better about where I'm at. Yeah, the Twins in the World Series in '91, that's right. That was another upset underdog story. Tubbs stayed, Mike's lost. Okay, and so it's going to be hard. I know if you've never watched one of these episodes, it might actually be a little painful to watch because I don't want any help. And sometimes people try to be nice and check in, and they say, "Oh, you're just a little bit south of where I don't want any help. I'm gonna wander around." Mike and I will talk a little bit, I'm sure, just because you would if you're flying with somebody, you'd be sharing information. Um, but part of the fun, part of the adventure of this deal is getting a little bit lost and then trying to figure out where the heck you're at. So and I know I've talked to some people after the fact, and they're like, "Dude, you were right there," or "Dude, you weren't even close," and it drives them nuts that they can't help. All right, I'm not seeing that. Well, maybe I am. Is that the little reservoir over there? Yes, I think it is. Right off my wings. Yep. All right. I think that's our little Netherlands reservoir. So I feel like we're on the right track here, although I feel like I'm not sure why we are climbing or needing to climb, because I'm not seeing that our terrain is quite that high. 9,000 is the highest I'm seeing anywhere here between Elk Park and Rollinsville. So we should be all right. Now, let me look over here again to see if I can pick up that lake, just confirm. Yep, that's definitely that little lake. Okay. I feel semi-confident here. JP Cali. What is this? This is called Can Melvin Leroy Find a Tiny Bush Strip in the Mountains of Colorado? That's the name of this game. What do we have here? Like a little settlement or something with 3D houses. Whoa. What is this? What in the world is this place with cars and whatnot? Interesting. Okay, that's what would that? Oh, I have slid way too far. Oh my gosh, I'm way too far to the east now. Uh-oh. I think that is the town of, possibly the town of Sunnyside or the town of Gold Hill. I need to get myself back on track here, guys. I was supposed to be doing about 350, and I was doing about 020, so
I think I'm over that lake that you were talking about, that really narrow lake by Netherlands, so I think I'm still good.
Roger. I think I just went past that myself, but I kind of drifted a little to the east. I think I ended up kind of over by Sunnyside. Alright, so we'll make a slight course correction, and we'll go about 340 here for a few minutes and see how we do. So yeah, JP Cali, this is just us wandering around.
I don't think you're at the Netherland lake. I think because then you're still behind me, I'm pretty sure.
Well, you've got to be farther along than I'm thinking then. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So anyway, JP, this is X-Plane 11. It's a flight simulation, and it's just it's a hoot. It is. It can be
No,
relaxing.
I'm definitely square over that lake right near the Nederland, because I can see the road that's correctly positioned on it and everything, so I'm bang on.
Alright, then maybe I'm lost. So this is a PC, as far as I know, PC platform game, and I believe that there is a flight sim coming out that has been advertised that maybe you can play on some of the consoles, but this is a PC game. Yeah, X-Plane 11, and you can demo it for free if you want, and it is. If you like aviation, you can simulate aviation to your heart's content. You can get as detailed as you want to be. All right, so here's one thing I'm going to do just to maybe try to get a little bit of a feel for where we really truly are. We could come off of the, oh boy, now I'm wandering here as I look. All right, so there is a there's a group of 4 lakes. That ought to be fairly easy to pick out here, guys, on the sectional. Let's see if we can find that before I do anything else. Oh. Ooh. I might be way west of course here. Okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. Again, I'm going to tune in, looking at my VOR here, and I'm seeing approximately, let's see, 314. So that's 310. That's 290. I'm thinking about 280 is going to get us in the ballpark here. Let me spin this guy here. All right. So when that lines up, we should be in the neighborhood. Here I am going across another town, though. Yeah, I think I may be a little bit off course. Okay, what potential towns could I be seeing at this point in time? Maybe this is, I'm 8 minutes north, so there's no way that I'm not at least past Netherlands. But I'm not seeing a whole lot of other towns here that I should be running into at this point. Alright, well, what we're going to try to do here, I think we're roughly on course, even though the town data is maybe not supporting that. I think this may be Gold Hill. I'm hoping what I've done is, here's what I'm hoping I did, and I could be wrong. I'm hoping that when I saw this lake that I saw, the first lake, that I drifted a little bit off. Well, I know I did. I drifted a little too far off to the east, and I think I picked up, kind of went over Sunnyside, and now I've kind of corrected. I'm over Gold Hill, heading back in the right direction. But it is possible that I, instead of the lake at Netherlands, I picked up this little tiny lake here at Rollinsville. So that's a possibility. But that's, again, all part of what makes these little trips kind of fun. And again, in the meantime, we're trying to use the Denver VOR. You know, we're still trying to stay west of Denver. We don't want to, we don't want to bust their airspace. And I'm actually getting I'm thinking about 299er is going to be what I need. So almost 300 to get. That'll put me on my track here. So yeah, JP, it's it's got a lot of navigational things. Obviously, the aviation component. It's a cool kind of multiplayer environment as well. Lots of really excellent training resources, and what I would say about X-Plane in general, well, Flight Sim in general, is it has a really active developer community. And so the game itself, if you download, just the demo version of X-Plane, it's going to look pretty vanilla, and it's not going to look anything like what I see. But there are a whole bunch of add-ons, essentially, that you can get, and many of them are free. Oh, thanks. Yeah, appreciate that. That's just miscellaneous this and that from You know how it is. You build up stuff, right? When you are married and you get stuff. But yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. Who is that? The neurology. Thank you. A lot of that stuff belongs to my grandpa, who his name Melvin Leroy. Oh, from the Netherlands. All right, awesome. Welcome. I have, that's kind of my ancestry is from the Netherlands. So that's great to have you along. It's got to be late there. Or early, I guess. All right, so here's the deal, boys and girls. I know I can't, 3 in the morning, holy cow. I know I cannot go west because the terrain does get too high. So if anything, I think maybe I have overcorrected slightly and I'm a little bit too far west. Here comes some water. Here comes, nope, I'm sorry, that's just a little shadow in the canyon. I may be totally lost. That's okay. I technically have enough fuel that if I needed to, I could make my way all the way up to Laramie. Well, I'm not obviously planning on a fuel restop or a fuel stop. We're just going to try to land here just because it's a cool little airstrip. But I have enough. If I needed to, okay, here's my plan B. If I don't find Elk Park, I'm going to come over here and try to find this Vance Brand airport. Now, it's going to put me slightly in the radius of the Denver class Bravo, but I'm going to be low enough that I will not bust the airspace. The airspace is between 120 and 80, so I'll get myself down below 8,000 and I'll try to go locate that airfield, and then I'll work my way off of that and try to go find Elk Ranch, if I'm not able to find it. We will see. All right, the neurology, thank you for following. Welcome to Prop Culture. Happy to have you along. If you enjoyed general aviation, you're at the right spot. We like to do a lot of this type of stuff. Low and slow. Well, we're not really low and slow. We're pretty high up right now. Not too much higher than the elevation, but yeah, if it's got a propeller in front of it, there's a chance that I like flying it. Glad to have you along. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, the normal streaming time. Around this time on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I try to shake it up a little bit on Saturdays. Sometimes try to go a little bit earlier in the day if I'm able to. All right, so we're back to 9,500.
I'm right on it.
All right, good job.
Alpha
Nicely
traffic.
done.
Cessna 124, Mike Charlie's over flying the field. Let's see what the runways are.
That's cool, man. This is not an easy one to find.
So remember 124, Mike Charlie's over the field on an upwind. We're going to the left downwind for runway 28, one-way strip. Yep, 28's the west runway is the one it's got to be. So we're upwind for 28.
All right, that's awesome. I'm happy for him. Okay. And we should be getting closer ourselves because our VOR is starting to come into center. And it'll just be a matter of us trying to find this needle in a haystack. And what I will do, so if, like I say, if I don't find it, I'll probably fly the VOR back and forth a little bit just to see. But then I will go try to find that Vance brand. I'll go fly down there and make my way back up. Whoa. Anytime I do something
Elk
off.
Park traffic, Cessna's in the left down for 28 Elk Park.
So this airfield, it's one I made on Tuesday. If you're able to join me, we kind of had some fun making it. It actually sits kind of like, it's like up on a little plateau, but the plateau has a little bowl in it. So it's doubly hidden, basically. And that's going to make it that much more challenging to find. I was sort of hoping I would see.
Elk Park traffic, Cessna 124 Mike Charlie, left base for 28 Elk Park.
Kind of hoping I would see JPC's flashing lights here to help me out a little bit. Right in front of me is.
Traffic, Cessna 4 Mike Charlie is on final for 28 Elk Park.
Yeah, I don't. That's not it right out in front of us. But we are getting close. Look at that VOR needle, man. That thing is just about where it needs to be. So I will. Obviously I'm not going to turn. If anything, I'm west of the airfield, because if I turn and head that direction, I'm flying right into terrain. So what I'm going to do is I'm thinking I'm a little bit north, and so I'll just kind of turn and work my way back this way a little bit. I also feel like I'm fairly close because I have Jet Pilot Cinnamon on comms. There's like a little lake right there.
Oh, what happened? What happened?
Yeah, just the typical, man. I'm just seeing the sights, my friend.
I think he's referring to me.
Oh, okay. Good. It just
JPC scratched the paint.
It distracted the fact that I'm lost. JPC scratched the paint. Oh man. All right, so let's turn here and let's put 29er in our rearview mirror, and let's fly this way for a little bit and let's see what we can find here.
You gotta stay off the brakes on that tail dragger, man. Just let it roll out.
What's a
sure,
VOR?
I'm probably sure that's what I did.
VOR is part of something it's called radio navigation. All right, now here we go, guys. We've got some lakes here. Gosh darn, maybe I don't. So what you can do, JP Cali, and I'm not going to be able to do much justice here, but you can tune in a radio frequency here on the nav radio, and then you can tune in a direction on that. That's called an NDB.
Hey,
you got a replay on that, Mike?
Brant, I'm gonna get out of the way here so you can find it without the busted up airplane. I'll be right back.
All right, yeah, you probably have quite a bit of time because I am very definitely lost.
Good.
Really? I just saw you fly by not that far.
What? Oh gosh. Now that makes me feel even worse. Anyway, what it does is helps you kind of get a sense of where you're at in space. And now he's saying he just saw me fly by, so that means I need to make a little 360 here. See if I see anything. I'm looking for a little bit of a bowl on kind of top of it. It's like a little horseshoe. It looks like the Ohio State football stadium. All right, there's the lake. Ah, very good. So this lake is just to the southeast of Elk Park. So we actually were pretty darn close. JP Cali, so VOR navigation, radio navigation in and of itself is one of the reasons why this is such a cool simulation. Is it's a fairly old school way of navigating. It doesn't use GPS, and it's kind of like how they used to do it back in the olden days. And so You know, learning how to do that is kind of a fun thing because not everybody is able to do that. I mean, obviously, if you're a real world pilot, you know how to do it because it's part of your training. But there's a lot of people in X-plane that they're pretty good at operating the GPS and the modern avionics, but they don't know how to work a six-pack. And since I'm kind of an old guy, I kind of like this old stuff. All right, so I don't know what's worse, being totally lost and not knowing where you're at, or knowing you're close. I think Kenny maybe saw it. I did not see JPC's landing. I was looking for him, but I didn't see him. All right, so we're kind of on where we need to be going here. I just need to find what's the most important thing to keep your eye on when you're flying? The most important thing to keep your eye on when you're flying is outside. Everything that's outside. There are 3 important rules.
I can see you from the ground again.
All
Let
right.
me just say that right now.
All right. 3 important rules when you're flying an airplane that
Marco.
I've been taught, and it's fly the plane,
You have
fly
to
the
have it
plane,
now.
fly the
You
plane.
have to.
Polo. Marco Polo.
I don't see it. Why
Please
don't
tell
I?
me.
I seriously don't see it. What is the deal? I gotta be right on it.
You're literally flying right over top of me.
Whoa.
Down to your right. Like right below your right wing, now behind you.
Alright. Yeah, if it's a snake, I'm bit. Ah, I see it. I see it. Alright, Elk Park traffic. Skylane. Sorry, Skyhawk 11816. We are on the downwind for approach runway 28, Elk Park. Alright, yep, I did. I flew right over. It's right there. Right there. I can see the little hangar. Alright, here we go. Now we're cooking with butter. Thanks for the assist there, by the way.
When you're right over the top of me, it's hard for me to not call you.
Okay, we got a notch of flaps in. JP Cali, this upper left one with the green and yellow, that's the airspeed. And so I'm trying to slow it down just a little bit here. And Elk Park, Skyhawk 816, right base, runway 28, Elk Park. I think that's pretty close. A little bit high. Let's pull the power back slightly. Elk Park traffic, Skyhawk 816. We're on the final runway 28, Elk Park. Alright, here we go. And I think I'm way too high.
I think I'm going to do a pattern here real quick because I kind of want to make up for what I just did.
I'm way too high and I turned too soon. Alright, second notch of flaps coming in. I'm not going to be lined up very well either. I may have to go around here,
So
guys.
JPC, I read on a tail dragger forum
There we
that
go.
the guys basically say that the brakes are only for coming to a complete stop on the ramp. Otherwise, you don't use them.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to use the rudder pedals in a way that I shouldn't have. I was trying to get back on the center line, I think, with a differential brake instead of just using pure rudder. And, you know, old habits die hard when you're used to a tricycle gear airplane.
No, I got you. All right, we'll watch the pattern here.
Boy, that sun is tough, man. It's hard to
Landing.
see. I'm getting some kind of wicked colors here, like it's, I don't know.
368.
Yeah, it was not a good landing, but
Hang on to your money.
seems smoother than that.
Got one more chance. Actually, Larimer's not a grass strip, is it? It's paved. We'll still
Yeah.
give him the chance. I'm feeling generous.
Yeah, the glare here, so that it's kind of like
Alright, Elk Park traffic,
sundown,
access the 124 Mike
so the
Charlie is
glare
gonna be
is
departing
making
runway
it
28.
sort
We're
of
gonna do a
weird,
left
but
traffic pattern and make up for the broken airframe, Elk Park.
all right, I'm going to get on my way here and get a little bit of a head start because I know you'll catch me. Yeah,
Fair enough.
I've never seen the
Just
trees
watch me barreling down the runway real quick here.
be that type of color. That's really weird. All right, so we'll let's get things back in line here. I think that's JPC heading out. Oh boy, I'm wanting to. What's going on here? Getting kind of blown around a little bit. I don't know. Is it windy here or what? Not sure. Oh, there he comes. He trying to
Former
take.
Charlie's boarding.
Oh no! I think he scratched the paint again.
No, I'm alright. This thing is really unstable when I try to get it up on the wheels. I wonder if it's maybe just the way it's configured.
So that, you
Either that or
know.
I just suck at tail draggers. That's all a possibility.
So this is just weird. It should be, I mean, I know it's low sun and all that. You get, weird kind of
Elk Park Cessna
colors
back
and all that,
strike.
but yeah, this is a beautiful area though. Absolutely beautiful area. So we are gonna, let's see, yeah, that left a mark. We are gonna be now for this second half of the trip, guys, a little bit less dead reckoning and a little bit more of following well, we're gonna come up here to Estes Park. We're gonna pick up the Big Thompson River, and that will lead us essentially to this Northern Colorado Regional Airport, which is Fort Collins,
Elk Park, redo.
and then that'll lead us to Horsetooth Reservoir, and then from Horsetooth Reservoir we're gonna follow this this road here is 287, U.S. Highway 287. We should be able to follow that guy up all the way to Laramie. So that I'm hoping will be a little bit nicer. Yeah, hey, Starflies. Yeah, JPC is he's trying to depart the hard way too. I don't get it. This is not looking good, folks. Everybody duck. Brace, brace, brace.
I can't get this thing to get up in the air out of here.
Oh my goodness.
Go downhill.
Elk Park traffic. Twisted Metal 816 departing to the east. We'll be making a left-hand left-hand departure heading north VFR. Elk Park. All right. We are. Let's make sure we're leaned here.
It says on the real world thing though, it says land west, depart west. It's a one-way in, one-way. It's a one-way airport, is what it's.
Does it really?
Maybe.
Oh, I guess I
Yeah,
didn't read.
one-way.
I guess I did not read
West
that.
only. Take off from the west only.
All right. Well, we will follow the rules there.
But the only thing is taking off west because of the way you have it built, and it could just be me because I didn't use the OSM. It's uphill, and my airplane never wants to come off the ground in time to clear. There's no way I can clear those trees. There's like no way. So we're in like a catch-20.
I'll go down and give it a try. Elk Park traffic. Skyhawk 816. We're back taxiing to the east for west departure. Elk Park. I did not read that, by the way.
I'll try flaps 20, but I don't know if you're supposed to do flaps 20 in the 172, even in the trailer.
I don't know either. We'll give it a try. We'll see.
It says take off to west only, or land to west only, take off from west only. Does the take off from west only mean to depart east? Now I've never seen it written like that before.
Well, the way that the airfield looks on Google Earth, it would seem to me that it is a one-way in, one-way out airfield. So that indicates
Yeah.
to me like you land uphill and you depart downhill. But I would defer to your expertise on that.
Steered you the wrong way down the runway here, because I've never seen it worded like that before. Takeoff from west
Park
only.
traffic, Skylane, Skyhawk 816. We're back taxiing to the west for an eastern departure.
Yeah, I'm sorry to have made you taxi like that, but I think it is that we got to depart the other way. It is the one way in, one way out. That's just the way that it is written. I've never seen it written like that.
Yeah, and I agree, because when you look at it in real life, it's clear because of the trees and the terrain that it would be very, very difficult to depart this way.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
That did something to your brain.
I heckled pretty hard in my chat right now. As deserved. So.
That's good stuff. All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh, we had a chance to go look at the custom sign. Dang it. Well. We got to get in the air here because we need to make sure that we have a chance to pick up some of these visual waypoints before it gets too dark. Otherwise, we're just going to be flying the needle, and which that's okay. That's fun to do still, but. Elk Park traffic, Skyhawk. Yeah, Skyhawk 816 on the roll eastbound. We'll be making a left-hand departure. Okay, leaned out. Lights are on. I'm going to leave flaps up and build some airspeed. All right, we'll toss a notch in here.
Technical description.
And we're up. Climb, climb, climb. Climb, climb, climb. We got to take a look at that. That's purty. Okay, so we need to, we do need to turn and get back on a little bit of a northerly heading, but we got some
traffic,
terrain.
For my Charlie's departing to the east. Gonna fly out and make a 180 land to the west, Elk Park.
At a certain point, we'd like to be about 334 to pick up Estes Park. But we're going to have to get up here and probably about a good 9 or 1,000, I would think. Maybe we've got a little bit of a draw here that we can go up. And by the way, Starflies, thanks for stopping in. Good to see you. We got some clips being shown here, or being made as well. That's awesome to see. I can't wait to go back and watch those, especially when they don't involve me being the one that screws up. They're a lot more fun to watch that way. Ski Jeffrey, also thanks for checking in. Good to see you. Happy Thursday. And there we go. There's our 330. I think this is going to be just a nice little valley for us to climb up and out of.
Elk Park traffic says the 4 Mike Charlie is turning back towards the field to land west Elk Park.
The Stanley Hotel at Estes Park is where they filmed The Shining. Really? I didn't realize that. Hey, Bobcat 20. Oh, the whole gang is here tonight. Yes, indeed. We are just a little bit northwest of Denver, Colorado. So it's been a lot of fun. I had a little bit of difficulty finding the place. Elk Park Private. It's 34 Charlie Delta. And pay no mind to the terrain warning that's going off in your brain right now. We're all good. But I had some help from my man Jet Pilot Cinnamon. And we managed to get it down on the ground. It wasn't a fantastic landing rate, but it really felt to me like it was a pretty good landing. Pretty good kind of bush landing. Pretty smooth. Right down the middle. Pretty
Very nice, Mike.
Pretty stable. Mike is trying to redeem himself. He had a little bit of trouble on his first approach there, but if I know him, he'll get it squared away.
Traffic says 124 Mike Charlie is departing to the east. We'll be making a turn to the northeast, or northwest, excuse me. 4 Mike Charlie.
It's not the push if you can't feel the landing in your bones. Well, I didn't set off the little, what is this? I keep calling it the EPIRB, the ELT. I didn't set that off, so that's good. So it was less than 5 Gs, which is always a positive thing. All right, Estes Park. There should be a town and a lake, and then we follow the Big Thompson River out of Estes Park to the northeast into Fort Collins, Colorado. Happy to have everybody along tonight. I would have recommendations. Yes, I think the first thing you want to do is you want to pick up the Prop Strike mod for the default 172. And again, that's the 172, the Skyhawk comes with X-Plane, and the Prop Strike is a modification that you download that's completely free, but it really changes the look and feel of that default airplane, and that would allow you to fly all over every bush strip that you ever want to fly, or just GA in general. The Prop Strike mod is what Jet Pilot Cinnamon is flying right now, and it has either a tricycle gear or it has a tail dragger, so you could get a little bit of experience with both. And that would be where I would start if I was brand new. Well, it is where I started when I was brand new. That was the very first mod that I downloaded, and I just started flying all over the place in X-Plane. After that, the sky's the limit. Then you kind of just decide what type of aviation you like. And back me up here, guys, in the chat. There's a lot of very knowledgeable people that are hanging out in the chat, but I think what probably the best thing to do after that is to connect with some folks in some of the like the Discord channels. I don't know if you do Discord or not, but I'll toss my link out here, and if you ever
Sorry for scratching the paint, buddy.
Not a problem. If you're a Discord person, hop on.
You can send me the bill.
Oh, it's all good, man. What's a little scratch paint between friends? But then, if I don't know the answer, I will point you in the direction, and I have a lot of really, really smart people that I have connected with on Discord that have taught me a ton. And that would be, I guess, because at that point you start thinking about things like, you're going to want to make your scenery look a little more realistic, and so there's some free stuff that helps with that. And then you're going to want to, after that, maybe explore some of the jets that are there. And there's a really, really good Zebo mod for the 737, which is a default airplane. And on and on and on and on. You're going to want to learn how to connect to VAT. Yep, you're going to want to learn how to connect
States Park. It's Estes Park. Thank you.
To VATSIM and all that stuff. But yeah, Ski Jeffrey will tell you way too many buttons. All right, around we go. This is the Big Thompson River down here. That was Estes Park. And we are now within about, probably 15 miles of Fort Collins in that northern Colorado Regional Airport. But yeah, the neurology, I would start there. I would get the X-Plane purchased and go from there. Now, I don't know, people in the chat, you're going to have to help out with this. If he goes to purchase X-Plane right now, will he automatically get 11.5? Will he get that, or will he get the 11.42 or whatever the previous version is? not that it probably matters a lot, because when you're brand new and you're just figuring stuff out, you kind of take it slow anyway. But I guess it doesn't really matter.
So, Brant, when you buy in, you get, if you buy in at X-Plane 11, generally what they've done in the past is you get all of the 11 series for free.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay, so he has 11.41. Good deal. Yeah, and the reason I say that is because that 11.5, it has some pretty promising features and some things that are going to be really, really nice once they kind of get all the quirks worked out. So I haven't upgraded to that just yet myself, and most of the people that I fly with also are kind of holding off as far as upgrading to 11.5. Not everything works seamlessly with it just yet, but maybe Ski Jeffrey has. He's clearing his throat like he has. I guess there could be a few, and I will at some point here, but I'm letting Ski Jeffrey fix all the problems first. So he may have them's neurology. He may have a different advice for you. He may say jump right in 11.5 rock and roll. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and that's yeah. I mean, I can't argue that because I haven't spent much time in it. Okay, upward and onward. Well, and that's true too. I mean, some of the more complicated aircraft, you know, the trickier they get, then yeah, the more they may run into problems with 11.5. Big Thompson's going to kind of cut a little bit more to the east here in just a bit. I think we still have it. It's hard to see again with this late day light, but I think it's still down there. Oh, very cool. Sparker VR is another guy that has some experience with that. But that prop strike, you know, the other thing that comes with that prop strike mod is your first scenery pack, and you get it's called Mockmel Fishery, and you can have your first little bush airstrip experience. And I think I downloaded, it recommended, or somebody recommended, getting Bella Coola as well, which is again available for free. So I think my very first flight in X-Plane was in the prop strike 170 from Bella Coola down to Mockmel Fishery, and it was a blast. I flew real weather. It was way too windy. Downwind sim will remember how I took off that day downwind? It's going to be a little bit of a lag here. He'll tell you poorly. Number one, I ground looped it like 5 times in a row, and then I finally just taxied on to the grass nearby the Bella Coola airstrip, and I just took off in the grass right into the wind. Oh, he's muted. Okay, it's all the better. He just would say bad things about me anyway. Yep. Alright, so we are, again, just continuing our trek here. I've maybe turned a little too far to the east, but I was thinking we would pick up, I'm seeing a lake or two out in front of me here. I think those are the lakes around Loveland, so yeah, I may need to head a little bit north. I was supposed to be on about a 057 heading. I drifted just slightly down. Where's the shadows is just making it really, really tough. The Big Thompson might be cutting right underneath me at this point. That could very well be it. I think this is a lake right by the lazy W. So yeah, I have slid a little too far to the south here. And we may end up getting to a point where it's just flat out too dark, and we might just have to tune in Laramie and just fly it on up. The cool thing about this Highway 287, which is also what's going to be challenging about it, is that it's kind of in amongst the mountains a little bit. It's a neat drive. I drove it a ton. I went to college in Laramie at the University of Wyoming, and we went to Fort Collins all the time and drove that highway a bunch. It's a really beautiful highway, but it won't be easy to find in the dark. As you can see, even in these shadows, it's sort of tricky to see roads and rivers and things like that. So I don't know if we're going to have much luck. We do have Laramie Regional is 16.7, and might as well tune that in here. 16.7, and yeah, at a certain point, if we need that, we'll spin that directional needle around and we'll just head that direction. Oh yeah, okay, Ski Jeffrey, you know the area. That would be a rough, because Denver Tech Center is clear the heck down on the south end of town, isn't it? Holy Moses. Yeah, and that's the worst. That is some serious traffic down there. Holy cow, and there's just not enough lanes. Wyoming and Montana, Starflies. Well, I'm so glad you're here, Starflies, because I need to announce this again to everybody who's tuned in. The reason that we are landing in Laramie Regional Airport, which is a pretty big airfield. Man, is this... I may already be on... This may be the Horsetooth Reservoir already. Did I miss? There's no way. It's 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Have I really gone? Yeah, it's only... Okay, I think I'm there. 15, it was yeah, only 19 miles, I guess. So this looks a lot like Horsetooth Reservoir. We're gonna turn east, or turn north and follow it. See if we can pick up Highway 287. Would be this guy running right next to it. But yeah, that Horsetooth Reservoir, it's a long, narrow, north-south running reservoir. But anyway, so anybody that's here that wasn't here at the beginning, I don't normally, for the Nowhere Fast episodes, I don't normally land in a regional airport. I usually land somewhere like Coyote Creek or something like that. But the reason why I'm landing in Laramie is because I've got a fly-in planned, or I'm working on a fly-in for June, for a June episode of Nowhere Fast, and my plan is to fly some of the little hidden gems of Wyoming, of the eastern part of Wyoming. I've made it a little bit of a project. When I was learning how to do scenery, I basically went through and created every little bush strip that exists in the state of Wyoming, because it's my home state, and there's only about 30 of them or something like that. Oh, hold on.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So Brad M is flying out to Wookie's Ridge, and he's taxiing out in the Carbon Cub, and he lays on the brakes and totally flips it over on the runway before he even leaves.
I'm not alone tonight.
Which runway? Did he depart from that down by the river?
No. He's leaving Yosemite. So.
Okay. I heard that's pretty awesome though for Wookiee, man. That's way cool.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So JPC.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
You're not.
So for those of you that don't know what Downwind Sim's talking about, you probably know the Twitch streamer Brad M, and you may or may not know our fellow Bush Hooligan Wookie, who's also a scenery developer. And Wookie has made some scenery that Brad M is flying tonight. So anyway, it's kind of a cool thing for our buddy Wookie, kind of a brush with big time. All right, so anyway, back to the fly-in in Wyoming. There's really not a lot of the story left to tell, but the bottom line is we're gonna do a route, and I'm gonna feature some of the airfields that I've made in the eastern part of Wyoming, and I think you'll have a lot of fun. So I will announce more dates and details and all that stuff when it gets a little bit closer, and obviously I'll share scenery with everybody that would like to participate. But there's some pretty cool little strips on the eastern half of Wyoming. It's the eastern half of Wyoming is the plains and the kind of the farmlands, the ranch lands, but there's also some things near the Black Hills. And so anyway, keep posted. If you haven't already, jump over to the Discord link, and I'll make sure that you guys know what we have planned here. So anyway, well, I'm already having a hard time keeping up with where the road is.
I definitely caught up to you, buddy. Pretty much going to be right on your 6 here in a little bit.
Hey, not a problem, man. Glad to have you back.
After debacle, and I just had an entire monologue with the chat of my lack of confidence in myself after getting frazzled, but I'm reconfident in my position because I found the reservoir.
So what I'm gonna do, I feel good. Like right now, I can see the highway, and that's that's pretty easy to follow, and it's even has some lights on there, which is kind of nice. And I have a general sense of where it goes. I mean, it kind of goes at about a 315-ish sort of heading. But I do think I'm gonna go ahead and, just so I don't get too haywire here, I'm gonna spin this guy around the wrong way. Wait, 315, is that what we said? Yeah. So that's roughly where I'm gonna be going. Yeah, it's not really kinda sort of starflies. It's just in case. Just in case. I had the hardest time. I don't know if you were here when I got into Elk Ranch, but I had the hardest time because of the sun, and it was doing some funky things. Like, you see how those trees are kind of weirdly colored? But it really was making it tough for me to see the scenery. So I'm a little bit worried about, because I'm going to be basically landing into the sun here. I'm a little bit worried about what it's going to look like. But you can see this highway, I mean, it runs right up the valley here. It's really a pretty highway. And honestly, I'm not sure why I even put 315 in there. That's not a great, it's not like the VOR. It's not like I'm trying to pick any particular radial there. I just have it tuned in case I need it. Starflies is IFR guilting me now. I wonder, I don't think we probably have the ability just yet here. Almost 4 bells. Well, I tell you what, my friend, my new friend from the Netherlands, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And it was nice to meet you, and I look forward to connecting with you on the Discord. Have yourself a fantastic night, and we'll see you next time. All right, buddy? Yeah, I can imagine. Now, I do have that, and I do have that, my glasses. I don't think they're going to help me a whole heck of a lot. Let's see. I was looking for what's the ATIS? What's the ATIS frequency here? I don't know that. I would assume that we have. If it's a regional airport, I would assume you have a weather channel. I don't want to get too carried away and lose track of my highway, though. It's going to turn and head to the north here just a bit. All right, chart, what are you telling me here? Chart, what are you telling me? Oh, it has an ATIS at Cheyenne. 134.075. Wait. Oh, Bobcat, where are you seeing that? I'm seeing a Cheyenne ATIS. CYS 13442. I don't think I'll be able to get either one of those just yet. 13442, let's try it. I don't. The AWAS. Yep, I'm not hearing anything just yet. I'll probably just use Active Sky. Although Starfly showed me a couple ways that you can judge the wind without picking up the ATIS. Okay, that's a little junction in the road that heads out into some fun country, but that's not where we're going to go. We need to turn north a little bit here. Yeah. 3547. Did I have the wrong thing in there? Maybe I put the wrong one. 3447. 135. Let's just see. I'm a long way away yet. I don't know that I'd be picking it up anyway, and I just don't know if I mean, I don't know. Does Active Sky or does X-Plane itself doesn't just broadcast ATIS information, but you know what does? Active Sky does, right? 22 nothing.
Kilo Foxtrot November Lima Airport information Charlie 0111
right.
Zulu weather wind 148 at 4 gusting to 4 visibility.
All right, that's Fort Collins. So we'll wait. We'll get up there a little closer to Laramie. We'll see what's cooking. Alright, I think I've kind of lost track of my road here a little bit. It gets pretty windy and turny in here, and I've kind of been gawking around a little too much. That might be us right here still. There's a point at which the road forks, and one section goes basically due west, and the other section goes to the north. We want to take that section to the north, and I think that might be the section that goes to the west. Ah, Kenny, you're smack talking the wrong guy today. I've actually been able to keep the blue side up and the brown side down for the most part. Alright, we're just going to kind of turn on about a 3. Whoops, that might be a little too much. About 315. Like I say, I think we'll get there. Laramie's a pretty big town, kind of tough to miss. And again, I think once we get up there, it's going to be, lights are going to be coming on, and we'll be able to see things. Speaking of lights, yeah, I don't know. The hard part about X-Plane, and I need to, Steve PHL gave me an add-on that was supposed to correct roads, and I just forgot to get around to installing it. But like these roads here that have the street lights, those are just dirt roads on the hills. They shouldn't have lights. The only lights that you should see right now anywhere, you shouldn't even see any on the highway at this point. They have a few like at the intersections where they'll light up, where the roads come together, but otherwise it should be pretty dark. So that does make it kind of tricky. Whoa.
Colorado traffic, 440, runway 6, taxi out to 125.
That sounded like a familiar call sign.
Yes, it did. We got somebody joining us for this last little leg maybe here, huh? That's cool.
Yeah, Jeffrey's gonna pedal hard.
Yeah, I'm not hard to catch up to.
He's also in that Columbia 400, so he's not gonna have a hard time catching up to us.
He'll be able to fly down and back before we get there.
Almost.
One of the nice things about this part of the world is this time of year it stays daylight till about 9:30.
More auto traffic, 240, reporting on runway 15, departure to the northeast, northern Colorado.
Sweet. So he's taking off from Fort Collins, and so he's only about probably 15 or 20 miles behind us. But anyway, so we'll have a lot of light here even late into the day. Like right now, local time, it's 8 o'clock. So, sundown will be, well, here in the next, sunset here in the next half hour probably. But then it still stays plenty light until, like I say, 9:30 or so. I love this time of year. It is so awesome. You can just, I can remember as a kid, you could just play and play and play, and you just never ran out of daylight. That could very well be our highway there. So I think we're doing a pretty good job. We're fairly well on course.
Running Colorado traffic, 210, Hotel Alpha, left down to departure, Colorado.
Yep, his voice already sounds like it's getting louder. I don't know how much lighting do I have. I think that maybe is it. Some panel lighting. Whoops. That's it. I don't fly this thing at night. I think one of these liveries, though, does have a pretty nice sort of night lighting system. Oh yeah, yeah. It's definitely nothing like that. That's quite a bit farther north, and yeah, I got to get there. So I tried. Tell me, okay, I need the female perspective here, Starflies. And I kind of know what you're probably going to say, but I'm going to ask anyway. So my wife and I, we just celebrated, or we're just about to celebrate our 30th anniversary. So we had planned to go to New York and see the sights. She's always wanted to go. She's been back east, but she's never been back east and kind of had a chance to like do the tourist thing. So we were going to go out there for like a week or two and, you know, do the Jimmy Fallon, and I was, we were going to go see all the museums and catch a Broadway show and just do the whole tourist thing. Well, that fell through, obviously. So I thought what would be fun to do would be to take a road trip the other way instead. And instead of flying to New York where, there's just a huge amount of restrictions, maybe we hop in the car and we drive to a place like British Columbia, because I've never been to Canada. And you could drive to the west coast and you could head up, all the way up through Washington, Oregon, and into British Columbia, see Vancouver. And I don't know what the restrictions, maybe the restrictions are just as bad there, but I pretty much got shut down on that. She said, no, we're not doing that. Instead, we're doing a huge backyard patio renovation instead. So, female perspective, I guess, Starflies, was my suggested alternate route really, really that bad? I thought I had done pretty well. I was redlining, by the way. That's why I'm slowing down. Her basic premise was if we can't travel, if we can't take a trip, then the next best thing is to do a little home renovation, and yeah, well, that makes the decision that much easier. But her basic thought process was it's she would rather do a little home renovation and just kind of make a nice outdoor. Our backyard is kind of a mess, and she's like, we could just have a really nice backyard area that we could enjoy every single night instead of driving and spending 2 weeks on the road. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't know. Staycation, yeah. Well, I mean, and I like what we're going to do in the backyard, don't get me wrong, but I'm kind of like, and I didn't realize you can't go to Canada, so that shoots down that idea. Oh, do we have somebody else flying with us? Who else is joining us there, JPC? Station calling, I hear you about 1 by 5.
I think he's over at Laramie.
Laramie? Okay.
On the ground over.
Alright. Well. I hear you a little bit better now, 259 Whiskey. And 259 Whiskey, I think I'm a little far to the south. That's maybe why I'm not hearing you too clearly. Yeah, I can't hear that. Can't understand what. No, we're south of Laramie right now. I would estimate 30 miles or so inbound from the southeast. And we wouldn't be hearing him if we were 30 miles away, though, would we? That was crazy talk. All right, so when we get to Wyoming, it gets a little bit flatter. It's kind of the high plains down here. And oh, we've lost our, why have we lost our, how have we lost the Laramie VOR? 1760. That's why, because I have 1670 instead of 1760. All right. That guy's in, so we're within 20 miles then of Laramie, because that's what's set up for the that's the limit of the Unicom. All right, Starflies, I agree. You're right. Actually, my wife is right about 90% of the time, so I'm used to that. There's our highway coming back into play, I believe. Our VOR needle is telling us we need to be doing about a 330 though. So we may be kind of winding around here. Terrain is telling me that as well. Did I slip down below 9,000? Really? I might have. Uh-oh. I think I see the lights of Laramie. I think that's the airport. Potentially. Yeah, we're a little closer than I thought. Alright, let's head that way. Laramie Regional Traffic Skyhawk 11816, approximately 15 miles to the south inbound at 9,000. Laramie. I hope to get to 9,000. Alright, so let's see if we can do 2200. Let's see if we pick up the Laramie ATIS.
Kilo, Papa, Uniform, Mike, Airport Information, Golf.
PUM, that's definitely not. I'm estimating about 15 miles to the south.
Roger that. I'm getting crosswind for runway 21, crosswind 21.
Roger. Alright, I'm going to have to look at the active sky this way, unfortunately. Looks like 290 at 8 and a 3001.
Hey, Brand, I'm taking a look. I think I'm gonna plan on a like a straight in for 30.
Yeah, that does. I would confirm that. That's what the weather is indicating. Alright, so that's definitely not the airfield. I'm mistaken there. 3001. Let's get that tuned in here first. Whoa, 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 whoa. Where are you going? There we go. And my position report may be a little bit off, but I'm on the road. I'm on the highway. It's going to take me where I need to go. And I tell you what, Ski Jeffrey and Starflies, that is one thing I do thank God for that we did not, because that was an idea, was to, uh-oh, what did I just do? Oh, that scared me. Was to take a cruise instead, and I'm a big
So I'm not
proponent.
sure that that guy doing the pattern over at Laramie is a familiar voice, Brand. I'm not familiar with. I don't think I am.
Yeah, I couldn't hear him very well at the beginning, and so I didn't know if that was somebody that jumped in with Jeffrey there at Fort Collins or not, but it sounds like he's just doing some pattern work up at Laramie.
Yep.
I'll make sure to tell him about the Virtual USA Flying Club.
Oh boy.
But anyway, Jeffrey and Starflies, that was one of my suggestions for an alternate, was to try to book a cruise, you know, and go up there. But man, some of those people, yeah, they just get stuck on the ship, and they've got nowhere to go, and that would be torture. Did I lose? Oh, I disconnected. That's what happened. I lost my VATSIM connection here. Sorry about that. Pop back on here. I would be in flight sim withdrawals. It would not be pretty. I would be a stage 4 alcoholic, I think. So straight in runway 30 at
I'm
Laramie.
not showing you online anymore, Brant.
Yeah, I'd got bumped off, but I just reconnected, so hopefully I'll be there in just a sec.
Roger.
So let's take a peek here, Laramie Regional. And,
And
yep.
I must have bumped Jeffrey too, actually, because I don't see him anymore either.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. That looks like a good spot, and then we just kind of hang a right here, and this is the hangar area off of Charlie 1.
Downwind sim binoculars, I can see the field.
Southwest.
I would say we're probably still a solid 15 to 20 miles out.
Yeah, I was seeing, when I thought I saw the field, I was just seeing highway, the street lights on the highway.
Yeah, that'll happen.
All right. So that's definitely, I think, the town of Laramie. Well, shoot, I don't know. We're getting there. That's all I know. We're getting there. The road does go up and over the top of this little ridge. There's a town called Tie Siding. And they get very mad if you say you don't know where Tie Siding is, by the way. There can't be 10 people that live there. There is a town in Wyoming, not far from here, by the way. Actually, right up there on top of that ridge. That's called the Summit. It's a town called Buford, Wyoming, population 1. And they had something going a couple years back where they were selling the town, and like for, I don't know how much, $100,000 or something, $75,000. You could have purchased your own town if you wanted to. I don't know if they ended up selling it or not, but there's like a general store with the gas station and a post office, and a whole lot of beautiful scenery to look around. But yeah, how is it legally a town? Because it has a post office. That's how it's legally a town.
Laramie traffic system 172, Charlie Golf, Tango X-ray Alpha, taxiing Bravo, crossing 21.
Oh, we got some more traffic there. All right, wherefore art thou, Laramie?
Traffic 6359, Whiskey Yankee, climbing to 9,500.
Laramie traffic, Cessna 124 Mike Charlie. We're about 10 miles to the southeast. We're planning on doing a straight in for runway 30 at Laramie.
So I have a hard time telling if that's city lights or just reflections. That could very well be the airfield over there, but it's hard to tell with the sun. There's a lot of places with unincorporated, country, and we've got a few of those in Wyoming also.
Laramie traffic 6359, Whiskey Yankee, turning east.
I just had never seen one that was available for sale. I'm like, that's weird, but in a way kind of cool. All right, well, if we were flying 330, we'd be dead on. So we're gonna head 330. We're gonna let the needle help us out.
Cessna Mike Charlie, what is your heading?
I'm on about a 320 heading coming from the southeast. Going to be planning a
there we
straight
go.
in for runway 30 at Laramie.
There we go. There's some.
Thank you.
Skyhawk 816 will be number 2, also planning straight in approach runway 30, Laramie traffic.
Before Mike Charlie has that Sirius in sight. Should be below you. We're at 8,500.
I have the hardest time picking up aircraft. I have every light.
Yeah, I have you in sight
Charlie Golf, Tango
for,
X-ray Alpha
Lake
is
Just.
I have
taking
every light I
runway
can
30
on.
for the circuit. Laramie.
Okay, there's some city lights. That may I'm thinking that that's the airfield. I'm seeing the beacon
Laramie
out
traffic
there.
659 Whiskey Yankee. I'm gonna circle around to my right, and I'm gonna be third in line for runway 3. Laramie traffic.
Okay, he may have some time. I'm a ways out yet. And traffic, you may have a chance to sneak in there. I'm quite a ways behind 4 Mike Charlie. Yeah, I don't see him anywhere. We're going to turn and enter a little bit of a... Well, actually, just going to continue toward the field for a little while. We'll try to define where the traffic is and see where we...
I'll just follow 118.11816 into the runway 3 and Whiskey Yankee.
Roger, Laramie traffic. Yeah, so 816, I guess we're back to being number 2, and we'll be straight in runway 30, Laramie. He's going to have to slow down if he's in a Cirrus. Holy guacamole. Where is he?
Laramie traffic, Cessna 4 Mike Charlie, probably about a 3 to 4 mile final, straight in for runway 30, full stop, Laramie.
I would put us probably, I think we've got to be probably still about 6 miles, 6 or 7 miles out. Maybe not quite that much, but I'm going to get a little closer, then I'll enter a left base for 30. If I could just see the inbound traffic, that would help me out, help me feel a lot better. I'm very confident that I'm behind him just from our conversations, but I would feel much better if I had some
Laramie traffic
visual.
659 Whiskey Yankee, turning right to follow Skyhawk 16 in for runway 3. Laramie traffic.
He's turning right, so he's over here.
And Laramie, Skyhawk, Golf Tango X-Ray Alpha, left downwind 30, Laramie.
All right, he's left downwind. So
Laramie
he's,
traffic, Cessna
there's
124 Mike
that.
Charlie's on a 2 mile final for runway 30, full
Alright.
stop, Laramie.
I think I see the downwind traffic.
We'll stay on the downwind until we see him.
Laramie traffic, Skyhawk 816. We're approximately 5 miles south of the field, 9,000. I think that's the downwind traffic.
Skyhawk 816, I'm probably at your 5 o'clock. Says here's 359 Whiskey Yankee.
Roger. 5 o'clock. Yep, we see you back there.
You're beaming now on the final, about a mile final.
Can't see him.
I'm not seeing him, but I'm almost sure that's the downwind traffic. Skyhawk 816. I think we see the downwind traffic. We're gonna enter a left base for runway 30, Laramie.
Okay, Tango X-Ray Alpha is turning left base now for 30, Laramie.
Skyhawk 816 will be right behind you on the final, Laramie. That's got to be him. So my sim leg, he's actually farther than what he's showing, I think. Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to fly this. It's a little bit of a far away base leg here, but it's going to give him a chance, I think, to get in ahead of us. And I'm going to wait until he's on final. If I have to, I'll do a 180. I'll just turn to the right and do a little 180 if I have to. I'd like to wait until he's on final. Man, I don't see him. Maybe we're ahead of him.
Laramie traffic, Cessna's clear of 30 Laramie.
Okay.
And Laramie, Skyhawk, Tango X-ray Alpha, final 30 Laramie.
11 traffic, Skyhawk 816. We're turning final runway 30, Laramie. I'll slow her down here. That is the nice thing about the Skyhawk, is you can really hit the old brakes here. We'll throw a notch of flaps in, and we'll just make it nice and slow. Let that guy get down on the ground. I do not see him, so I'm thinking he's got to be a lot closer to the field. That's my
I'm gonna go park right to the hangars so that she can get repainted after scratching her up at Elk.
Good call. We're below the glide slope here, so let's level off. Probably the coldest I've ever been at an airport was at Laramie. This very airport. I caught an early flight from Laramie to Denver in a Beech 1900. It was like a 5:30 in the morning flight, and it was winter. And winter in Laramie, Wyoming is very, very cold, needless to say. But I got to the terminal, and I was like right behind the lady that was opening the door, and right in front of the two pilots. And I'm thinking to myself, surely they've got the APU hooked up, they've got some heat going, right? They're not gonna
And Tango X-ray Alpha is clear on Bravo 2.
they're not gonna make us step on a cold and dark airplane, are they? Yes, they did. It was like 20 below out. I swear to God, I was freezing my tail off. Laramie traffic, Skyhawk 816, 2 mile final runway 30, sorry, Laramie. That was, I mean, the cabin was probably me and 4 other guys, and it was like,
We're just gonna do a couple 360s up here. 360s until you land for Laramie traffic.
Roger. It was nothing but, I mean, the whole inside of the cabin was just us giving off body heat, and you could see our breath, and it was just the coldest. Oh my Lord, that was cold. Okay, here we go. Let's get on. Let's get our power set. I don't know why I'm calling myself Skyhawk. I'm a 152. I've been calling myself Skyhawk all night. That's misleading. Being bounced a little bit here. Whoa. Whoa. See the traffic off of the runway. We're looking for, I mean, we'll probably be shut down pretty quick here. Boy, it is hard to see any terrain. It's pretty flat where this is. There's nothing really to worry about. But it's like the ocean underneath us right now. All right, second notch of flaps coming in. go. Did I bounce it? Yes, I did. I bounced her. Darn it. Well, welcome to Laramie anyway. A little bit of a bumpy one, but
Let me just real quick and go take a look at my replay. I'll be back so you can park over.
yep, I'm heading to the hangars. But 321, not great, not terrible. Acceptable, that's probably the best way to put it. I'm going to roll through, and Laramie traffic, Cessna 816, we're going to roll through runway 21 and take a right on Alpha. We're heading to the hangars, Laramie. Just kind of mistimed the flare a little bit. My landing lights, they're like non-existent right now. And I know they're on. I mean, you can see they're on, but it's just like they're just having hardly no effect. That sun is just right where it's like hardest to see because it's like when you're driving down the highway, you just don't have, you know, you have the lights on, but it's just they're not helping you. All right, so we're Alpha, and we need to turn on Bravo, left on Bravo. Laramie traffic, Cessna 816, we're clear runway 30, Laramie. Let's turn here. Kenny, I did install a special cushion in your seat, by the way. It's made from Serta, and it provides extra lumbar support for my landings. The Serta is sponsoring my stream now. By the way, Bobcat 20 and Sparker and VR, appreciate the optimistic landing predictions. Sorry I let you down, but just kind of, Kenny Monster can attest. It's just kind of where I've been. I've been in a little bit of a landing funk. Although I did hit one the other day that wasn't half bad. Like about a $120 or something like that. I'm just mistiming things a little bit. All right, here's Charlie. We're going to hang a right on Charlie, and then a left on Charlie 1, and we'll be at the hangars, and we'll be shut down. And I can tell you what's coming up later on this week in the stream, and then we'll figure out too, there's probably somebody out there we need to raid. We've got 12 people hanging out. We might as well go give somebody else a little bit of love. But yeah, welcome to Laramie. This is a pretty little airport. Nice area of the country. Definitely nostalgic for me just because of the time I spent here going to college, and now both of my sons have went to college here. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool spot. All right, here comes Charlie 1. I do have a dome light here too, don't I? I do have a dome light, I guess. And we won't see JPC because he went offline to look at his landing. So we'll just kind of come in here and find ourselves a place to park. See, when you turn away from that sun, the landing lights have a much much better effect than landing right into it. That was a rough one. Let's see. We'll just pick a spot, any spot. How about right here in front of this guy? I know you would back your plane in and all that. So you'd get your little toe tug out and push him in there, but we'll just do that. Okay, set the parking brake. And let's turn off things. Let's get shut down. Retract the flaps. And landing beacon, nav, pedo, dome light can come off.
All right, another nicely chosen route there, Mr. Melvin.
Yeah, thanks for coming in tonight.
Hey, it was my pleasure, man. It was not my finest moments in the sim, but that'll. As Sean always tells me, when I crash, it tends to make the viewer numbers go up because it's higher entertainment, apparently.
No doubt about it. All right, I'm going to end my stream and then I'll be back and we can kind of debrief a little bit. Sound good?
Sounds good. Sounds good to me.
All right. So upcoming on my stream, I guess that's the first thing I'd like to tell you about is Saturday. We've got this could be a little bit of a tricky deal because I do have some family that are going to be in. So um, this may change. I don't know. Kenny, we'll see you later. Thanks for stopping by again, man. Appreciate it. But what I currently have on the docket is we have the Cal Scream. I don't know if it's XX or if it's 20, but there's a Cal Scream event going on. We are set to fly the Zebo 737 from San Diego up to Sacramento, and we're going to depart at about, well, it's 3:45 Pacific time, so that's I believe 6:45, so a little earlier than normal, 6:45 Eastern. Um, but I'm hoping to be able to do that. I'm looking forward to this. My first Cal Scream. I missed the one last time, and I'm looking forward to this. Sunday, then, the next day, there is the Colorado Mountain Fly-In that I'm going to be a part of, and I don't know if I'm going to stream it or not, but I'm definitely that's a fun GA event. I'm going to be a part of that one. Um, the following Tuesday after that, I'm still leaving kind of open for now. I've got a couple ideas I'll let you know, but after that, the big one for me this time next week, I'm going to be hosting the Virtual USA Flying Club Executive Treatment event down in the state of Florida. And so, speaking of the Virtual USA Flying Club, you're going to want to go check them out. They are a Discord group, they are a VATSIM group, they're a group of GA enthusiasts, and I'm sure that JPC, the other guy I'm flying with today, he's the founder of the Virtual USA Flying Club. I'm sure he'll drop a link in here in just a second for you because I always forget where my link is. But they're a great group. If you like to fly general aviation, they're a really fun group to be a part of. Very active community, and it's not uncommon for us to bring 20 plus GA planes into an event, which is pretty darn cool, especially since a lot of them are midweek events. And so I know that we do plan probably upwards of 3 to 4 per month, and then we tag along with the others that are already planned from some other groups, like the Colorado Mountain Fly-In. That's not a Virtual USA Flying Club event per se, but we will be there in force, having some fun there this coming Sunday. All right, I think that's just about it for me. Let's see, who do we have? Who can we go and say hello to? Who are you thinking there? Guys are checking out. Okay, no big deal. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it, guys. I will catch you next time for sure. Somebody said Bill Forley was on. I don't see. Oh, let's go. We got to go check out Brad M. All right, let's see how he's doing with Wookiee scenery there. So if you can stay for just a couple of minutes while we raid Brad M, I would appreciate it. If not, if you got to take off, I understand. Have an awesome rest of your week and I can't raid him because it's a follower or sub only chat. Well, you'll have to go over there on your own then. But go check him out. Let's see how he does with Wookiee scenery. And until Saturday, I guess we will see you then. Take care. God bless.